Here we are again on Tongue Tie Tuesday. I said last week we would do the pelvic floor today, but I'm making a change because I'm presenting exciting research next week and I want to talk about that. So, next Tongue Tie Tuesday will be about the pelvic floor, and yes, we will be having the sex talk. No, not the one I had with my child this week for the first time, a different sex talk. So tune in. Next week, I am presenting research at the Voice Foundation. It is the first ever case study of a tongue-tied singer undergoing treatment. That would be me. And my colleagues and I are just really excited about what we have to share. Stay with me to the end because there is something I want to ask you too. We collected heaps of data because even though we had ideas of what we might find, you don't really know for sure until the treatment. Everybody's body responds according to their own anatomy and the compensations that they're holding in their body. I'll share the more personal experience later, but for now, here are some highlights. We focused on what was happening in the airway. My airway was quite narrow, and after treatment, it was substantially wider and less prone to collapse. It's a good thing. Not only was the larynx sitting lower at resting position, it was significantly lower when I took a full breath. And that's when the lungs pull down on the trachea. It's called caudal pull. And this told us that the airway dilation potential in my anatomy experienced improvements that were synergistic, almost exponential. Big implications for singing. Speaking of singing, quality, voice quality, tone really changed. The tone was more brilliant, it was richer, and vibrato consistency was much improved in terms of jitter and shimmer, if you're into those things. This is not just subjective, by the way. This was measured on spectral analysis, and that was a really great tool. My range increased 1 octave on the same day. Wow, blew my mind. So half of that was at the top end, half at the bottom end, and at the 6-month point, I've retained more than half of that, and still in the scar tissue softening stage, and also with muscular habits of tension can return a little bit with muscle memory. So those are things I continue to work on. Dynamics increased, not just loud, but loud and soft, and the fluidity of being able to crescendo, decrescendo between those. Wonderful. Breath efficiency, big changes. Now, caveat, I had my first tongue release a few years ago, but it wasn't complete. It wasn't deep enough, but I did have some positive changes from that. So if we look at breath efficiency from before that to also the changes from this latest treatment, just incredible changes in breath efficiency. So that is just marvelous. All right, what next? After treatment, I had an average of 55% improved range of motion in my neck, and that's cervical extension and also rotation, in the shoulders, in the torso, hip flexors, pelvic floor, which we'll talk about next week. I would love to go through the details of my experience with you, and I will one of these Tongue Tie Tuesdays. This is a brief overview of what's about to take the world by storm next week, or something like that. So, I'm traveling to Philadelphia, to present at the Voice Foundation to 500 plus doctors, ENTs, speech pathologists, voice scientists, and singers. Renee Fleming is going to be there. Don't fangirl. This is awesome, you guys, because this is the leading clinical voice conference in the world. These are the people who can run with the baton like we have. We are already standing on the shoulders of giants. These people can do the next level of research and can treat, teach, and habilitate tongue-tied singers. I don't get paid for this research, and this trip is costly. I have a GoFundMe page, and I'll put the link in the description. And if you could offer a little support, I would be so grateful. That could also be in the way of sharing this video or sharing the link. Any support you can offer is much appreciated. Since I'm still paying off the trip, I'm extending the time frame on the GoFundMe, so you can still donate after the conference too. Thank you. Thank you. Next Tongue Tie Tuesday is going to be sexy, so be there or be unsexy.